Srimad His Divine Grace Aboy Charanardavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana ki. Vrindavan Dhama ki. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama ki. Jagannath Puri Dhama ki. Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glorious to the assembled devotees, oh, glorious to the assembled devotees, oh, glorious to the assembled devotees, oh, glorious to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
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 Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-lila chapter 7, text number 108. Upanishad Sahita Sutra Kaheye Tattva. Mukhya Vritye Se Artha Parama Mahatva. Upanishad Sahita Sutra Kaheye Tattva. Mukhya Vritye Se Artha Parama Mahatva. Upanishad, the authorized Vedic version. Sahita, along with. Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra. Kahe, it is said. Yea, the subject matter. Tattva, in truth. Mukhya Vritye, by direct understanding. Say, that truth. Artha, meaning. Parama, ultimate. Mahatva, glory. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The absolute truth is described by the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. But one must understand the verses as they are. That is the supreme glory in understanding. Please repeat. The absolute truth is described by the Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. But one must understand the verses as they are. That is the supreme glory in understanding. It has become fashionable since the time of Shankaracharya to explain everything regarding the Shastras in an indirect way. Scholars take pride in explaining everything in their own way, and they declare that one can understand the Vedic scriptures in any way he likes. This any way you like method is foolishness, and it has created havoc in the Vedic culture. One cannot accept scientific knowledge in his own whimsical way In the science of mathematics, for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And one cannot make it equal 3 or 5. Yet, although it is not possible to alter real knowledge, people have taken to the fashion of understanding Vedic knowledge in any way they like. It is for this reason that we have presented Bhagavad Gita as it is. We do not create meanings by concoction. Sometimes commentators say that the word Kurukshetra in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita refers to one's body. But we do not accept this. We understand that Kurukshetra is a place which still exists, and according to the Vedic version, it is a Dharmakshetra, or place of pilgrimage. People still go there to perform Vedic sacrifices. Foolish commentators, however, say that Kurukshetra means the body, and that Pancha Pandavas refers to the 5 senses. In this way, they distort the meaning and people are misled. Here, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that all Vedic literatures, including the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras and others, whether Shruti, Smriti or Nyaya, must be understood according to their original statements. To describe the direct meaning of the Vedic literature is glorious, but to describe them in one's own way, using imperfect senses and imperfect knowledge, is a disastrous blunder. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu fully deprecated the attempt to describe the Vedas in this way. So that's the first half of the purport. The second half is a little bit easier to digest. Regarding the Upanishads, the following 11 Upanishads are considered to be the topmost: Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitareya, Chandogya, Brihad Aranyaka and Shvetasvatara. However, in the Mukti Upanishad, verses 30 to 39, there is the description of 108 Upanishads. They are as follows: 1. Isopanishad. 2. Kenopanishad. 3. Katopanishad. 4. Prajnopanishad. 5. Mundakopanishad. 6. Mundukyopanishad. 7. Taittiriyopanishad. 8. Aitareyopanishad. 9. Chandogyopanishad. 10. Brihad Aranyakopanishad. 11. Brahmopanishad. 12. Kaivalyopanishad. 13. Jabalopanishad. 14. Svetasvatara. 15. Hamsopanishad. 16. Arunebhyopanishad. 17. Garbhopanishad. 18. Narayanopanishad. 19. Paramahamsopanishad. 20. Amrita Bindupanishad. I'm getting tired. Giri, can you go on from 21 to 39?
Okay. 29. Maitreya Upanishad. 30.
21 to 39.
21. Nada Bindu Upanishad. 22. Shiro Upanishad. 23. Atharva Shiko Upanishad. 24. Maitrayani Upanishad. 25. Koshitakya Upanishad. 26. Brihad Jabal Upanishad. 27. Nrsimha Tapaniya Upanishad. 28. Kalagni Rudra Upanishad. 29. Maitreya Upanishad. 30. Subal Upanishad. 31. Shoriko Upanishad. Mantriko Upanishad. Sarva Saro Upanishad. Niralambo Upanishad. Sukha Rahasyo Upanishad. Vajra Suchika Upanishad. Tejo Bindu Upanishad. Nada Bindu Upanishad. Dhyana Bindu Upanishad. Brahma Vidya Upanishad. Yoga Tattva Upanishad. Atma Bodha Upanishad. Narada Pairajaka Upanishad. Trishikya Upanishad. Sita Upanishad. Yoga Chudamani Upanishad. Nirvana Upanishad. Mandala Brahmana Upanishad. Dakshina Murti Upanishad. Sarabhopanishad, Skandopanishad, Mahanarayan-upanishad, Advaya Tarakopanishad, Rama Rahasyopanishad, Rama Tapanupanishad, Vasudeva-upanishad, Mudgala-upanishad, Sandhila-upanishad, Paingala-upanishad, Vikya-upanishad, Mahat-upanishad, Sarira-upanishad, Yoga-Shikha-upanishad, Turiya-Tati-upanishad, Sannyasa-upanishad, Paramahamsa, Parivajika-upanishad, Malika-upanishad, Avyakta-upanishad, Ekakshara-upanishad, Purna-upanishad, Surya-upanishad, Aksha-upanishad, Adhyatma-upanishad, Kundika-upanishad, Saviksha-upanishad, Atma-upanishad, Pasupata-upanishad, Parama-brahma-upanishad, Avadhuta-upanishad, Tripura-tapo-upanishad, Devi-upanishad, Tripura-upanishad, Kata-rudra-upanishad, Bhavana-upanishad, Sridhaya-upanishad, Yoga-kundalini-upanishad, Bhasma-upanishad, Rudraksha-upanishad, Gana-upanishad, Darshana-upanishad, Parasara-upanishad, Mahavakya-upanishad, Pancha-brahma-upanishad, Kan-Agni, Ahotra-upanishad, Gopala-tapani-upanishad, Krishna-upanishad, Yajna-valkya-upanishad, Varaha-upanishad, Satyayana-upanishad, Hayagriva-upanishad, Dattatreya-upanishad, Garuda-upanishad, Kalya-upanishad, Javalya-upanishad, Saubhagya-upanishad, Saraswati-rahasya-upanishad, Bhavacha-upanishad, Muktika-upanishad. Thus, there are 108 generally accepted Upanishads, of which 11 are the most important, as previously stated.
Thank you. You got all that? There's one there, Yoga Kundalini Upanishad. And does anybody know any verses from an Upanishad? ISKCON? Yeah, which one? Do we have the microphone? We don't need it. Rupert, what did you have?
You want me to quote one, or do you want me to quote first?
Yeah?
Should you use the microphone, or?
It's coming. You can start.
Shivasham idam sarvam yatincham yagajam jagat tena chaktena punchita magajam. She spit it up. Over the animate and inanimate that is within the world is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should accept what is set aside as his quota and not accept other things, knowing to whom they belong.
Okay, which verse is that? The first verse of the Upanishad. Yeah. Pardon, Lodge?
I'm not a Sanskrit, I'm not English.
Yeah? Okay, fair enough.
One should know the Supreme Lord perfectly, in his name more follies and pastimes, or abilities, temporary material creation, these temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows this as it passes death and the eternal cosmic manifestation with it, and enters into the eternal kingdom of God, entering the eternal life, gives him knowledge. Mantra 13.
Mantra 13 from the Upanishad. Wow. Anybody else?
I'll paraphrase it a little bit. One just systematically said the Supreme Lord in everything and all living entities within the Supreme Lord. Therefore one never hates any living being.
Okay. Yeah?
Verse number 3. Kuvan ekaha kamani dikit chatam samaha
Can you speak up? The microphone is probably most necessary for me. My hearing's impaired. Yes.
One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way of man.
That's verse 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, verse 1 and verse 2. The invocation to the Upanishad. Does anybody know that? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnam Purnam Udachyate Purnam Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. That's the Purnam verse.
You want to know the translation?
Yes, please.
The personality of God is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanating from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced from the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains complete balance.
He's complete. Yeah. Where's that from?
This one usually comes out, that was the first invocation.
That's the invocation. It's actually from the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. So the Upanishads are all present throughout the teachings of Krishna consciousness. Throughout the Vedas, the Upanishads are present, and they're very significant. Svetasvatra Upanishad describes there's an analogy. So it's just slipped my mind for a second. There's another one, Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate. That's, yeah, what does that mean? The Lord has multifarious
energies.
Yeah. Lord has multifarious energies. Svetasvatra Upanishad. There's one verse which is in the Svetasvatra Upanishad and the Munduka Upanishad. That's a very commonly discussed analogy. Hang on, we've got two things happening, I can't hear. I think so, yeah. I think so. And then there's another verse about oh no, it slipped me. Anyway, the Upanishad, it's a bit of an example. Upanishadic language is a little bit cryptic. He walks, but he does not walk. He's near, but he's far away. They're dichotomies. It's heavy philosophy. Very heavy philosophy is the language of the Upanishads. Brahma Sutra is another name for the Vedanta Sutra. Again, sutras are codes, codified knowledge. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he describes here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, eloquence is truth spoken concisely. So the sutras, the authors of the sutras, they try and shave down the syllables in order just to maintain the meaning without having anything superfluous. Good writing, it gets directly to the point. It doesn't beat around the bush. There's no faults, there's no exaggerations, there's no alliterations, there's no, what would you say? There's no going around like that. It's direct. It's direct. So the Upanishads are like the direct core of the philosophy. The structure of the Vedas, hang on, let me get this right. The Vedas are a vast volume of works. We've got one verse here from the Vedas, and we'll try and understand how Krishna is God, why Krishna is God, is Krishna God, is God a person, from this particular verse. It's supported by the Vedas. It's said that there's a copy of the Vedas in the Calcutta Museum or Library, and it takes up whole wings of a building. It's just a vast body of work. There's the one Veda, which was divided into 4 Vedas for easier comprehension. Can anybody tell me the name of the 4 Vedas? Or any one of the 4 Vedas? Rig. Do you know a verse from the Rig Veda, Charno? We chant it every day when we're doing deity worship. Om tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pasyante suryo divivya chakshusha atatam sabvipusho vipni. Yeah. Another Veda? Atharva Veda. What does your Atharva Veda speak about? Okay. I can, by process of elimination, I can tell you some of the other Vedas.
Some of there is the musical Veda.
The music there, the hymns, yeah. Samo Veda. Yeah, the Gita Govinda is, and it's also Gita, Prabhupada, or Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita of choice poetry on the Sama Veda. So Sama, Atharva and Rig. One more. Yajurveda. The Yajurveda. What's in the Yajurveda? Procedures. Procedures. So there's the procedures, there's the songs that support the procedures, there's another 2 elements, the Rig and the Atharva. It could be the paraphernalia, the different things that go. It's there, it's described in the Vedas. So there's the 4 Vedas, and then you get different, there's the Vedas, then there's the Upavedas, there's the Vedangas. Here we're talking about the Vedanta Sutra. So Sutra is a small encapsulated pocket, a code of information. Veda, Anta. The Anta means the end of the Vedas, the summary of the Vedas. Vedanta Sutra is the point in discussion here. The sannyasis have asked a question of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How come you're a sannyasi? How come you don't hang out with other sannyasis and study the Vedanta Sutra? That's what we do all day. That's our business, studying the Vedanta Sutra. You're spending all your time dancing in the company of other sentimentalists, just singing and dancing. How is this fitting behaviour for a sannyasi? So Lord Chaitanya realises his audience are crass Mayavadis. And he speaks appropriately. Rupa?
So there's from the status of the Upanishad.
Another bit?
And to those who have implicit faith in the words of Krishna and the spiritual master, all the meanings of the Vedic literature are revealed.
Yeah, that's a good one. So implicit faith. If you have implicit faith in the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then all the imports of the Vedic literatures are automatically revealed. Yeah, so it's cryptic language. Okay, faith, and then everything will come to you. So so we've got the Vedas, the Vedangas, we've got the different, then there's the Puranas. There's the 4 Vedas and then the Puranas. The Puranas are histories. The histories are more approachable than the hardcore philosophy. We've got the 4 Vedas. There's 4 sections within the Vedas. There's the Upanishads, there's the Aranyakas, the Samhitas, and there's another one starts with B.
Brahma.
The Brahma, yeah. Brahma was mentioned in the verse yesterday, wasn't it? Brahma, first thing, mistake. So it's a different type of Brahma. It's so there's different elements to the philosophy. Philosophy, can somebody look up what is the etymological meaning of philosophy? Just like philosophy. We know psychology. Psych means the spirit or the mind. So what does philo mean? I'm not sure whether you're going to find it from the normal.
A love for learning, something like that.
A love for learning. Okay, so the Upanishads encapsulate that information, which is food stuff, which is interesting, which is exciting for those who have a love for learning.
What it says here is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline.
An academic discipline.
Philosophy.
Yeah, the study of knowledge.
Study of fundamental nature of knowledge, reality and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline.
Okay, the fundamental nature of knowledge and nature. Okay, so because some people, you approach them and you start to talk with them and they say, I'm not interested in philosophy. Well, actually, it's more specific than that. I'm not interested in your philosophy. Hare Krishnas, they know everything about everything. I'm not interested in having that rammed down my throat. So I was thinking, well, that's what everybody talks about. You talk about philosophy, you talk about the nature of things. Even you're in the market, you talk about, well, that's a nice thing. How much did the cauliflowers cost? What did you pay for them? That's the nature of something. Suravan?
They believe in philosophy, but their philosophy, not ours.
Their philosophy, yeah. I don't want to accept your philosophy because I have my philosophy. Yeah, and if your philosophy is superior to my philosophy, then I'll have to accept your philosophy. So I'm not going to listen to it. So people are not wise. I don't want to hear philosophy, except my philosophy. Eat, drink and be merry, for tomorrow we may die. Beg, borrow or steal. Somehow or other get ghee. Different levels of existence. Materialists, transcendentalists, lovers of God. Different levels of existence. So Lord Caitanya, he recognised who he was speaking to, so he adjusted his presentation. And he said, well, Vedanta Sutra, my spiritual master said that I shouldn't study Vedanta Sutra because I'm a fool. I'm not going to be able to understand it. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead speaking. I'm a fool. Morik.
Prabhu says in modern society there may be some sentiment of philosophy, some of these so-called big philosophers, but there's actually no philosophy in modern society. It's like Prabhu said over here, philosophy without religion is mere speculation, and religion without philosophy is either fanaticism or sentimentality.
Yeah. What's a common term in modern Pali, modern language?
In relation to what?
Philosophy.
Armchair philosophers.
Armchair philosophy. What's armchair philosophy? Anyone and everyone. Here. It's based on this. It's what Prabhupada says. Fashionable. The any way you like method is foolishness. Any way you like, method is foolish. Any way you like. Armchair's philosophy. You're sitting in a pub, you're bending the elbow, you're with your friends, and you talk philosophy. Oh, we know how to run the government, we know what's wrong with this thing, we know that. That's philosophy. So it's the quality which people don't want. As Surabi said, they don't want to hear any other quality except what they have put into place themselves. They've created their own religion. People who don't want to hear this aspect of the truth, they've created their own religion, and that's foolishness. You can't create your own religion, but it's very attractive. It's very attractive to think that you can understand the nature of the absolute truth. You can. It's possible, but you have to have a particular attitude, which is faith. Faith in the Supreme. Actually, faith, and there's a definition Srila Prabhupada gives in the Bhagavad Gita. It's in chapter 2, text number 41. Does anybody know that verse? It's a type of intelligence. Vyavasyatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahusakhi hinantasya buddhayo vyavasayanam, which means that those who are resolute in purpose, their goal is one. But those who are their focus is many-branched, then the opposite, they're irresolute. So if you're focused, it means you're very fixed in your goal. You just don't see, you've got blinkers on. You're very focused. Whereas the opposite of that, if you're not focused, then you're splayed out. And you're looking at all sorts of different things. So that's considered a good quality of intelligence, to be focused. Then the definition of faith appears in there. This is really focused. And this is the essence of Krishna consciousness. What does it take to be Krishna conscious? This particular quality of faith. How does it go? There's the Sanskrit for it there. Shraddha Shabde Vishvasa Koi Sudrida Nischoy. Second half? Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sava Kama Krita Hoy. So focused. Do you know what the English definition of faith is there that Prabhupada gives? I have my phone. I've got it on the back of the phone. It means it's faith in something sublime.
It's the unflinching trust.
Unflinching trust is unflinching trust in the sublime. Unflinching trust in the sublime. That's faith. Unflinching trust in the sublime. Sublime is subliminal. It's not, you can't touch it.
Sublime is superior, not subliminal. Subliminal is subtle. And sublime is superior.
Okay, can we look up the dictionary for sublime?
They're the same word.
The same.
Subliminal and sublime is different.
No.
Okay.
We've got
They're the same root word.
same root. We've got a conflict here. Can we check with the authority?
And you were, can I say something in relation to empirical knowledge? Because you were...
Oh, relatively. Sublime information is superior to material relative knowledge.
So sublime...
Sublime is a few meaning.
Yep.
Okay, in English it's used differently because in Spanish, with the Latin root, it's used differently. Like sublime is extremely subtle.
Extremely subtle.
You cannot perceive it. And
Unperceived.
And sublime would be the highest.
Extremely subtle. High. Cannot perceive it. Surabi?
Sublime, adjective of very great excellence or beauty. Most such sublime cannot conceive us.
The highest.
Yeah. Sublime means wow.
Wow.
Subliminal?
Okay.
Extreme or unparalleled.
Extreme or unparalleled.
You see, sublime is totally different. It's below the threshold of sensation or consciousness. Basically cannot be perceived, extremely subtle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a negative definition of it. It's so great that we can't see it. It's so subtly great. What's that called? Understated beauty. Understated beauty. You understand that?
A sublime person is a noble, exalted, majestic, inspiring, awe-inspiring.
Awe-inspiring.
Admiration through grandeur, beauty, outstanding law of supreme. Such a man, such of a sublime man.
Okay. So the definition of faith is to trust in the sublime. And then the purport to that verse, Sudridavischa, is that trust, that faith, for a Krishna conscious person means if they just become Krishna conscious, then everything will be supplied. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to endeavour separately for anything. The only endeavour you have to make is to keep Krishna in the forefront of your consciousness. So that's too blunt, that's too direct, that's too easy. The Mayavadis, they have faith that if they study Vedanta Sutra, if they perform dry austerities, they don't gratify their senses, then eventually they will achieve oneness, liberation. And there's 5 different types of liberation. So what type of liberation are the Mayavadis aspiring for? Sayuja Mukti. Okay, what does that mean? To merge. Yeah. We're driving along the road and we see that sign to merge. What's the sign to merge? Two roads coming together. What does it look like? It looks like the tilak. We see that sign, we don't think merge, they're going to merge, we think, oh, Vaishnavas around. So the merge means to annihilate ourself, to become one. That's called spiritual suicide. That's their goal. That's their ultimate hope, that they can become one with God. They can lose their identity. They can dissolve their ego. That's spiritual suicide. You can't enjoy. Rupa?
We were talking about philosophy before, and how Prabhu said there's no philosophy, and like you said, so-called philosophers think they know so much and can solve all world problems. But they're addicted to tipping the bottle and smoking cigarettes. Where's their philosophy? Just mental speculation. And Prabhu said in the purport to the culture that the teacher cannot teach his students to stop smoking if he smokes himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Lord Chaitanya is the ideal teacher. He taught by example.
Mm-hmm.
Prabhupada said, there's also those verses about Haridas Thakur that
Achara and Pracha.
Teaching people, it says that some people they act very nicely, but they do not preach very nicely. Some people preach very nicely, they do not act very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Sanatana Goswami said about Haridas Thakur that you are simultaneously acting very nicely and preaching very nicely in relationship with Krishna. Therefore, you're qualified to be the spiritual master of the entire world. So, like, action is very important. People may even have so much, be able to quote so many slokas. You find in India, so many people can quote the whole Bhagavad Gita. That their actions, leave a lot to fall short. Actions is very important. Actions speak louder.
Okay,
right?
Thank you. That's a very good standard of real philosophy. walk your talk. Actions speak louder than words. Surabi?
We're talking about faith. The Prabhupada told us that we're not human Krishna consciousness on faith, because he said faith can be changed every day. Today you can be a Christian, tomorrow you can be a Jew, next day you can be a Mormon. He said this philosophy is not based on faith, but he always asks us, are you convinced? Are you convinced? Are you convinced?
Are you convinced? Yes.
What he's saying. So this Krishna consciousness is not based on faith. It's knowledge. It's based on knowledge and practice of what Prabhupada's giving us.
Okay. I would differ.
But that's coming from Prabhupada.
That's okay. I would discuss it further. I would differ. Just like Lord Caitanya, he would present an argument and he would challenge people, so defeat my argument. And they were bewildered. So he would turn around and defeat his own argument with a superior argument. So I accept that Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness is not just based on faith. That there's different qualities of faith. There's mature faith. There's faith which can be changed, brittle faith. That's called a kanishta adhikari. That they believe that I'm here and Krishna's here. I'm here with Krishna. I'm close to Krishna. But what about, oh no, don't interrupt me. I'm chanting my rounds. I can't do any service and I can't help you. I'm here with Krishna. It's called kanishta adhikari. That's a very low level of maturity. Higher than that is the Madhyama Adhikari, who has faith which is unbreakable. The lower, the Kanishta Adhikari, their faith, if somebody offers them a higher proposition, if somebody teaches them, well, you're happy here, but are all your emotional needs and are you being properly supported? Come with me. Jesus loves you and I'll show you the way. Oh, yeah, I've had enough of here. I want to go with you guys. It's called love bombing. It's attacking people. So, have you met Jesus? Do you know Jesus? Oh, hang on, I've been here for like 50 years and I'm chanting this name, but I've never met Krishna. I don't know Krishna. Oh, yeah, let's go. So that's the person who has low level of faith. Madhyama Adhikari, their faith is unbreakable. They see four things. What do they see? Apart from Krishna?
The
We've got the microphone.
personality of God is his highest object of love. With respect to the Vaishnavas, they're merciful to the innocent and they avoid those who are atheistic by nature.
Okay, that's good. The microphone was there, but oh, here it is. We've got another half the audience outside, and probably there's people there on the radio who are. So please grab the microphone. Surabi, no, sorry, Braj, she was next.
Just in relation to what she said about faith in Shraddha is not needed. The Prabhupada said that. I never heard something like that. I read and heard things about blind faith, but faith is needed. It's one step into bhakti, Shraddha, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first step.
But I mean, knowledge gives you real faith, not blind faith.
Yes, and the faith that Surabi was mentioning, and quoting Prabhupada, the faith that can change. Oh, now I'm a Christian, then I become a Buddhist, then I become a Muslim, like that. That's not solid faith. That's not Dharma. That's religious faith. Whereas Dharma means the essential nature of something. We're just fixed. We don't look anywhere else. Somebody who's perfectly Krishna conscious, they only see Krishna. They're 100% Krishna conscious. They see Krishna everywhere. So until we get to that stage, we may have lip service. We may say that God is everywhere, but do we see Him everywhere? Do we act upon that realization? Otherwise, we can say, "Oh, we're all one. God is one." But I'm happy to take your wallet in your pocket, your wallet in my pocket. It's all one. What's the problem? So until you act upon that, until your realization comes up to that level, then you have low level realization, you have low intelligence. The different levels of faith correspond with different levels of intelligence, different levels of understanding. So first class, intelligent, faithful person is an Uttama Adhikari. And he sees everybody engaged in Krishna's service. He's devoid of the propensity to criticize others, which seems to indicate that if you have the propensity to criticize others, you're not on that level. You're not a pure, unalloyed Uttama Adhikari. And their faith is fixed. You cannot change them. I'm a servant of Krishna, everybody's a servant of Krishna. And at the same time, they have access to all of the scriptural evidence to help to convince you. Whereas a Madhyama Adhikari, they might not be fully conversant in the philosophy. You can discuss with them and say, oh, I know that this is true. Well, prove to me. Hang on, come back to me tomorrow. I'll do some research and I'll then be able to present the facts for you. Whereas an Uttama Adhikari, they'll speak, and sometimes they'll speak and you might think, well, they're not even addressing my question, but they're speaking to the core of your being. They understand your heart. So different levels of faith, maturity of faith is what we're looking for. So that is to trust in something sublime. So if you don't trust in the words of the scriptures and you want to use indirect meanings, you want to screw some other thing out of it or just to suit yourself, that's not glorious. That's degraded, deprecated. Deprecated is the word that Prabhupada used. Lord Chaitanya deprecated. Fully deprecated the attempt to describe the Vedas in this way. So this is just one verse from this whole series of verses. We're going to hear more for the next months about the nature of this philosophy, where it came from, the essential role of the Upanishads in helping to establish the truth, and what we're supposed to do with this. An interesting side thing, I'll ask for questions, but just one last comment from me. Prabhupada, he made the statement that the Bhagavatam is full of pastimes. There's lots of pastimes of Krishna. The reason why Krishna performs so many pastimes is so we have so much substance to think about. But then Prabhupada, he described that the predominance of Krishna's pastimes are killing demons. So he puts more emphasis on killing. That's Krishna's presence. Prabhupada, his main mission is Sunyavadi. What's the two words there? Nirvishesha Sunyavadi. One of Prabhupada's favourite activities was to break down, to destroy, to kill the impersonalists. So we're following in their footsteps. We've got that. So that's also our business, to kill the demoniac mentality, to kill the mentality that says God is not a person. He's deaf, dumb, blind, dumb. He can't. So that's our business. Any questions? You've got to use the microphone.
Killing. Oh, okay, no. Yeah, killing can be used in many different ways. And another way Prabhupada taught that is to kill with kindness. You see? And we often forget that. Because, this material world is a very impersonal place. And no one is kind anymore. Especially it's getting worse and worse and worse. And so Prabhupada told us to kill with kindness, to attract the people to our Krishna consciousness through kindness. And you just try how people just melt with your kindness. So we can attract people to Krishna consciousness through that. But the one mistake we make lots of devotees, and as soon as they come to Krishna consciousness, all right, they chant it Swami next time, we forget all that. So this kindness principle should be always there. Always.
Okay, we have to follow Saravi's direction, her example. She's practicing what she preaches. Kindness is contagious, it's attractive. We had people at our Newtown Preaching Centre, they were unwanted derelicts, drug addicts, and we would ask them if they could serve. They would serve prasadam, and after some time at serving prasadam, you couldn't drag them away because people were so grateful for what they were giving. They were giving instead of being abused, and so they were happy, and so, yeah, it's an amazing weapon. Lord Caitanya employed that weapon. Rather than kill the demons, Jagais and Madais, he overwhelmed them with his beauty.
Just on Saravi's point, just a simple experience of going next door to the neighbours and giving them prasadam. And one of them, he's a sort of a lapsed Seventh-day Adventist. And when I give him prasadam, he says, this is a real, this reminds me of, the Bible, how, this is a nice act of God, of sharing our food, sharing food, so he was really thankful just for getting some.
Remember Caitanya Swami?
Biblical teachings,
Yeah, it's Caitanya Swami, he used the term unsolicited kindness. Most people, their relationship is business. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So to go forward and to just share love, to share kindness, to share affection, people are always, they've just been trained, well, there must be some hidden motive, there must be some reason, there must be something behind it. What is they trying to get from me? So then they'll close up. But unsolicited acts of kindness are very, very powerful.
And some other neighbours, when I showed them they gave me like a whole box of mangoes in exchange for their tree, or some of the veggies out of the garden. Some of them, days later, they just came and dropped it on the doorstep.
This is the principle of preaching. We've got so much to give. Our hearts should be overflowing. It's the idea of preaching, book distribution, is you come here in the morning and you chant Hare Krishna. You work hard, and you just become so full of nectar that it's like a sponge. You put a sponge in nectar, and then you take it out, and it's just oozing out. So we're full of Krishna consciousness, full of nectar, and we just go out and we ooze out that nectar on other people. And that principle of giving so much kindness, then people are naturally, they want to reciprocate. Oh, here's a nice person, they've got so much to give, and what they're giving is substantial, it's real, it's significant, but then they also have to check, because it's long term. We went out on Harinam in Poland, and we were always advertising to people, if you chant Hare Krishna, you'll be happy. You chant Hare Krishna, you'll be happy. So they were seeing these people chanting Hare Krishna, and they were looking at, they're happy, and they were thinking, are they really happy? Have they just been paid to put that smile on their face? Are they out here singing and dancing in the streets 6 hours a day because they've got big bucks coming in? Are they really happy? And sometimes we'd be exhausted. We've just been out there for like 3 months, every day, 6 hours in the morning and 6 hours in the evening, just exhausted. And we get up and we see people looking at us, and we'd realise the audience factor. They expect us to be happy, and you just become happy. And then that happiness will become infectious. My grandfather used to tell me, a smile is like the sun. It's free. It's available to everybody, and it lights up everything. So, what else? What else do we need? But you can be happy, and you can be happy if you've got that inside. Bart Simpson. Sorry, this is really degrading. I got the joy deep in my heart. And if the devil don't like it, he can sit on attack. So joy, it's something that's there within society. People want to feel it, they want to express it, and they're talking about it, but how real is it? How tangible is it? You've got to be peaceful, you've got to be free from envy, devoid of the tendency to criticize others, This is the quality which will influence other people. This is the quality of love, the quality of devotion, quality of philosophy, quality of action, which is required to change the world. And Prabhupada was embodying it. Prabhupada's given that mood to his disciples, so we also have to try and pick it up. Better be the last one, Rupa.
I try as much as possible to, like, whoever I meet, whether it's in the shops or on the street, just say Hare Krishna to them. And my daughters, especially my oldest daughter, she's always going, Dad, why do you say Hare Krishna to these people you don't even know them, you know? So she doesn't really understand, you know, we try to go to the ultimate benefit, and sometimes I think a lot of us maybe, you know, be a little shy to say Hare Krishna, just say Hare Krishna to just anyone and anyone we meet, but we're surprised, especially in the Wollongbar, quite often we're surprised people respond back with Hare Krishna because they've had so much contact. So whether it's in the grocery store or the bank, or going to the post office, quite a lot of people will say Hare Krishna back to you when you say Hare Krishna.
Some of us might be shy. We might think that there's been such a lot of negative publicity, and that people are looking at us. Am I up to scratch? Do I really represent what I hope Hare Krishna will be? Because we had a maintenance man in Sydney. He was a classic Sudra, and he remembers in the 70s walking down the streets in Melbourne and having to cross the street a dozen times to avoid being hit up by the devotees to have the same book shoved down his throat. So we can be confident, we can be happy, but we shouldn't think that, okay, we're the bee's knees, we're the answers.